Uh, it was an amazing year, and if, if I'm to summarize from God's perspective, I feel like it was an year of foundation. So there were quite a lot of lessons. It was at some point a bit bitter, and at some point moments that were very much sweet. So for me, it was a foundational moment, most especially because the church arm of Gethsemane started physically on site last year. Oh, discipleship, especially in the area of wrong belief system. Right? Wrong belief system. It was almost like in everything I see, in everything I see people do, I could read meaning to it from that perspective. I was seeing what wrong mindset was doing to people, and it was seriously a burden in my heart because people will live better if they have right perspective towards life. Okay. I think that was when my wife went for antenatal. We were not expecting what happened that day. So the whole thing took a new turn, and I just realized that we had to prepare for the theater. Large percentage of that bill was sorted divinely. I wasn't prepared for anything like that. I didn't even know that that's what was going to happen that day. So it was a really big surprise that I wasn't prepared for. Talk on time. Talk on time. Talk on time. Talk on time. And it is not everybody you could be much more diplomatic with, especially when it comes to talking. Some persons you just have to hit the nail on the head. And I will say that another that was very strong is that, or was that, not every free gift are truly free. Some free things are very much expensive than what you paid for. Yeah, these are the two lessons that were very much strong. Even the previous year, that was 2024, there was a stretch of faith, especially when I was wrapping up NYC, preparing for wedding. But there's a way we moved down to Bida. We moved down with almost just a few items. In fact, the mattress I came down with was, it was what I was using before. And then the house was almost like an empty house. And that was it. We began that way. We didn't even know how Gethsemane was going to. So it means we are going to start service as our last day and now be running 2 services in a week plus school of ministry. It's going to involve a lot of resources because honestly speaking, if we are to depend on church offering, we would be stranded. And the year was wrapped up without any debt at all. There's no debt anywhere. So it was a great stretch of faith around my family life financially and around Gethsemane as a ministry financially. Yes. Actually, I fast, or I'm trying around fasting. Well, at a particular time when I was thinking of resting, my kind of rest is eating in the afternoon so that the body will adjust and rest because of activities, influx of activities. And that was the exact season where I had to start increasing prayer duration. Yes, I had to increase prayer duration. And as at that period, attending to my pregnant wife who was having 1 or 2 health challenges, and then appearing in a secluded place to stretch for length of hours in prayer and to maintain fasting evening was much labor for me. And that was because of our preparation for communion service and continuation of the same. In 2025, the Lord actually spoke about Gethsemane stepping into Rehoboth, and of course it is in all ramification, And apart from that, there were some visions that came in the previous years about we even receiving properties. I'm not saying that the kind of properties I saw in that vision, we've currently received them, not really, but it started happening before the close of last year because we had access to properties and we were able to own one to ourselves before the close of last year. For 2025, looking at the body of Christ, distraction, because I think as much as we have larger percentage of persons very focused at their work, a whole lot of the body of the believers were largely distracted. It's distraction. A lot of persons were distracted, a lot of persons, and if at all we could give much more attention and give ourselves wholly to what God has called us into, God will do strange and mighty things through us. Hidden victories. Actually, I wasn't planning to say this on camera, but okay. I think I'll just talk about my wife. Yes, about my wife, because at some point my wife's BP rose so high that, in fact, she was at the verge of convulsion, and I think it's of the media and nobody was aware of that. It was actually a horrific moment, and even a moment after delivery, there were some complications that people were not aware of. But we came out strong, and the Lord helped. Okay, this is for my people. The aspect of growth I observed had to do with the area of leadership. From personal leadership level down to the corporate level. I think this is an area that I examined and experienced a major kind of growth with the people with leadership, personal and corporate. Yes. At every junction in 2025, actually, I could be somehow open. Not necessarily, I'm not laughing, but I could be quite open because so long as you are with me, especially the leaders, my life is not hidden. But I think some things turned upside down, and it began to get at me, and some turned into rumor mongering. And then with time, I found out that it wasn't anything that bad. I just need to learn how to, talk to some persons and not treat people from the same pedestal. So for me, it looked as though it was something very bad and was more of an attack, but at the long run, I realized that it was a training in the area of being diplomatic. It was quite hectic. I know people who look at me at times and be like, hey, this man is trying. It was quite hectic because sometimes where you have to hit the road, while you're on the road, I have to use nose mask and mask my face, and with AirPod soaking under our ship. For as long as that trip will last, I'll be praying. And this is not even for administration. This is just more of like my personal time with the Lord. And down in the house, well, sleeping became a bit hectic as well, and I had to readjust a whole lot of time. I think my quiet time had to start happening around 5 a.m. till 10 a.m. and then at times it stretches till 12 noon. The Lord helped me in that area. It was quite an amazing time because I had nice time in the presence of God over and over again. It's not perfect. It was still in the aspect of, I'll call it slander, and scourging tongue of men. A lot of talks, a lot of talks, a lot of talks. That's when I found out how potent talks are, especially if you approach them from physical perspective, and or you keep quiet where you're supposed to begin to condemn tongues that rise up against you in judgment. That was actually an area of warfare that was very much pronounced in Gethsemane as a last day. Yes. You know, I will put it in this context because I will not want to be very much direct. I think I am a bit sympathetic. I'm saying a bit because I don't want to exaggerate that part, but I'm actually very much sympathetic. And when it comes to shutting the door necessarily, it is very, very difficult. I don't know how to accept that a season is closed when it comes to relationship with people. But that was the aspect of training or instruction that demanded an unusual obedience as at last year, because I had to just call a spade. A lot. Fasting, prayer and retreat played if I'm to put it, I think if you remove retreat, remove prayer and fasting, there's actually no ministry to begin with, because ministry have several levels. There's ministry to God. So I don't know how we minister to God if there's no prayer, and at some point ministering to God demands fasting. A lot of crises in our members that the tool of fasting helps us to, be not necessarily totally numb to them, but it helps the spirit to gain ascendancy. And I couldn't really do without it because of a lot of noise around. Fasting helped me to quiet my soul, and then prayer was more of like live wire for me. And then retreat was very much necessary because at some point it feels like you're getting tired, so you need to just take a time off and get to the presence of the Lord, and for some praise and refreshing moments. So for me, fasting, prayer, retreat was like the life wire for everything we did last year. 2025, most profound testimony of transformation. That has to do with watching people give their life to Christ, and not just giving their life to Christ, but getting trained and rising on the ladder of leadership, and they themselves are now standing before others to teach them. That was like one of the profound testimony, and then literal testimony of healing in people's body. That's one of the most profound testimonies I could speak of for last year. Okay, I'll put it in one word. It takes patience to teach, and it takes time for people to get conformed. That was what I later found out. Not for the first time, but in a much more convincing and settled way. Okay. I would say that the past is past, and it is very necessary to look backward and take an inventory of what happened, and not for the purpose of blaming ourselves, and not for the purpose of judging ourselves, but for the purpose of making adjustment and heading forward by the grace of God. And this will have to do with you knowing the current emphasis of God for this previous time, but fulfilling that current emphasis will mean that you already know yesterday's pitfall, and you have obtained grace to not fall into this. Yes, 2026, I will reiterate that it is not everything free. That is free indeed, because Many of them comes with hidden price tag that you might not be privy to you. Price tag as regarding your peace, your joy, and it might be quite inconvenient. So it will be much more better to pay than to anticipate for free things. And when things are overtly free, you need to probe to know the underneath price tag that is not really being discussed. Okay, if 2025 could speak, I think the message 2025 will deliver to church today is 1 Timothy chapter 4, 13 to 16. And one of my emphasis there was where Apostle Paul was telling Timothy to give himself wholly to these things so that his profiting may be visible to all. And by so doing, he will save himself and everyone that hears him. This is the lesson in the encapsulation if you're talking about 2025. A car. I need a car. Is a need. Thank you.